Are you ready to build your network at lightning speed? Well, mark your calendar for April 16th through the 18th and join us at Connect. You'll experience 3 days of growing, networking, and breaking through your limitations. Look, you'll never be the same. So go to attend-connect.com to learn more.
Think about where you want to be in your business on December 31st, 2020. Like, make a list of what you want to create by the end of the year and bring that list with you.
I'm your host, Chaz Wilson. I bring you successful entrepreneurs, add valuable wisdom to your journey, and help you succeed. Welcome to Connect, Share, and Prosper.
Thanks for joining me today as we announce one of our keynote speakers for Connect. And, listen, when we get ready for an event like Connect, there's, as I was mentioning, this all hands on deck. Everybody comes together to put an event like this together. There's so much that happens. And I was just in Nashville a week and a half ago at an event myself, and there was 5,000 people at this event in Nashville. And what was interesting was I loved the content I was learning, but I was also watching the behind the scenes because I put these events on myself. And just the amount of work that goes into, the registration process, the hotel, the venue, everything like that, to the event, the content, working with speakers and making it just a really cool event. There's so much that goes into it. So my team's just been hard at work doing that. So I want to share with you just a couple things. Welcome, Lynn, Chris Angel. Welcome to Connect, Share, Prosper. I'm going to announce our surprise keynote speaker here in just a second. Don't go yet. So one of the things that I want to share with you is every time we put an event together, I've been to a lot of events like I was just describing, where what I loved about the event I went to in Nashville and what we do with Connect, where I see a similarity, is that we put a framework together with Connect, right? So we see that day one, we're going to talk about ideas, mindset, strategy, all of that kind of thing. And then day two, it's what's the action and the implementation we can take to grow our business, so that day three, we can really see how those actions turn into a legacy that we're building beyond the business. And that's kind of the framework for this year's Connect. So what's exciting is I then take that framework and say, here's the topics I'd love to have delivered to our members. And then I go out and I find the best people to speak on that topic. And so what we're announcing today is one of those amazing people that will be speaking on the topic. I'm going to announce our keynote speaker. One of our keynote speakers is Ursula Mentjes. Welcome to Connect, Share, Prosper, and one of our speakers for Connect. Super excited.
I'm so excited to be here, Chaz and team, and thank you for having me. I can't wait to rock this year's stage. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, this was an easy decision for us because you've been on a previous podcast episode, and
Yes.
We had so much amazing feedback about our episode that it really became just a no-brainer as we were looking at topics to have Ursula be one of our keynote speakers. It just made so much sense. So we're super glad you're going to be at Connect. For those who've already signed up, which we have several people watching right now who are already have their tickets for Connect, they were smart, got early bird pricing, and jumped to the front of the line. What can they expect to hear from you when they show up for Connect?
So many things. Well, here, I want to start with, you talk about framework in terms of the mindset, the execution. You're going to show up, you're going to shift your mindset, and then you have to actually implement when you leave. And I love that, because so many times we can go to events and take a few notes but never do anything. So you're going to make sure they actually take action when they leave. I love to think about it in this way. What if you could just get 1 6 or 7 figure business idea to get to the next level? Hopefully that's in my program. And then you go and hear another speaker and you get another 6 or 7 figure business idea. That's what it's about. Like, show up at the event expecting to get phenomenal ideas. Now I'm going to be talking about mindset and selling. So in terms of mindset, we're going to talk about all those limiting beliefs that stop you from getting to the next level in your business and in selling. And then I'm going to dive into how to actually execute on the sales side. So once you move your limiting beliefs aside, how many sales do you want to bring in per month, per year?
Yeah.
How do you execute, and how do you create sales habits that get you to that next level in your business? So that's just a highlight of some of the things.
I love that. So do you think selling is a skill that people can really learn? Like, so I've heard some people say, like, you're just either a natural born salesperson or you can generate the skills. Do you think people can generate skill?
Yeah,
learn it?
I've heard the same thing that you have to have a certain personality or this or that, or, selling is definitely a skill. And unfortunately, it's a skill that we don't learn in elementary school or high school or even college. You can even get an MBA and never have a class on selling. And then we start businesses and we wonder, why don't I know how to sell? Well, because no one taught you. So it's definitely a skill set. It's like anything else. You can learn how to sell. And once you know how to sell, you have that skill forever.
So good. I think complexity is the enemy of implementation. Like when it's really complex, you don't implement. And the thing that I love about what you teach is the simplicity in which you teach it, and the way you deliver that message is so strong. So for those who say, I'm on the fence right now, I haven't got my ticket for Connect, I'm waiting, what would you say to somebody like that? I mean, I have some thoughts, who or not somebody like that, but their mindset is there, right? They're just not sure.
Right. So only 3% of the population, I've heard, shows up at seminars and events to get to the next level in their business and their life. So that's your top 3%. So I think just by showing up, you're already putting yourself in another league to take your business and your life to the next level. So from there, once you're in the space, number one, Chaz, you're bringing in powerful speakers to help them get to the next level. You're investing at a high level to make that happen. Second, once you get the information, Chaz has even set it up so that when you leave, you can execute and get results. So I always think when I show up for an event, I want a 10 times return on my investment. So what is the ticket price and what's 10 times that? Like, show up with the intention to receive that. And third, here's the other thing that I think people miss. Events like yours are some of the top places in the world to network, right? I'm sure you've met, like this event you were just talking about, 5,000 people. I'm sure you met incredible people that can help you take your organization to the next level. So that's the other kind of unspoken thing that happens in rooms like this, is that you make the connections that are going to propel you. So it's just 3 reasons that I would definitely show up if I were sitting here watching right now, wondering what to do.
So there's this power of proximity, and you're not going to get that by sitting at home. You have to get to events. That's why I go to several each year. And so I'm at this event. What was interesting to me, and I actually took my 12-year-old son, who we had such a great time, and he got to see me connect with other people. And I asked him at one point, I said to my son Braden, I said, what did you see that I did? Because there was several famous people, famous influential business owners. And we just went up, we got pictures with them, we talked with them. And, for him, it was like the starstruck moment. He's like, oh my gosh, Dad, how did you do that? And I said, what did you see that I did? And he's like, from his standpoint, he's like, it was funny watching other people act really silly or weird because they were nervous around. And he's like, Dad, you just talk to them like, as he said it, you just talk to them like a normal person, right? I said, that's because they are. They are a normal person, right? But here was the other thing about the power of proximity. For me, what was interesting is I was really hoping to connect, and I did with a few people in the audience, and I connected with a few people that spoke on stage. But I made another powerful connection I never intended, and I don't know if this ever happened to you. The staff. Some of the staff, the executive team that was at the event, I connected with them. And what was really cool is they're like, oh, you should connect with this user of this group and this member over here and this speaker over here. And by the way, I know all of them. I'll connect you with them. And I went, oh my gosh, I have missed this every time. I should be at the back of the room with the staff, getting to know them, connecting with them, and they'll connect me to the people that I want to. It was such a powerful moment for me.
Yeah. And that has definitely happened to me. In fact, I remember exactly where I was. I was at an event and I was sent to the back of the room to talk to someone, a handler, I guess you call them, for a very powerful high-end speaker. And I was talking to this woman and we just had this great connection. She was really powerful. And in the back of my head, I thought, I would love to have her on my team someday. Totally forgot about it, let it go. 2.5 years later, she calls me up. She's like, hey, I don't know if you're looking. I would love to be on your team.
Wow.
Please. So such a great point. Yes. So much happening at the back of the room, at the front of the room, in the middle of the room, so much more than, a couple $100 or whatever they invest. It's like, it's so small compared to the rest of your business year and the rest of your life. Like, one great connection. We both know this. One great connection can double a business.
Oh yeah. It changed the trajectory of your future by making those connections. And you never know. I mean, we sat next to some people, you think, well, that's coincidence. You picked a chair. I picked a chair. We sat down, and then we have this great connection that we're talking about things we can do to help each other. Super powerful. And, tickets right now are $397. It's just a little over $100 a day to invest, to be with people who could change. It's interesting to me. when I go around and do workshops, and you've probably seen this, where like somebody will throw a couple $100 at an idea or a strategy to grow their business, but they don't invest in themselves as the biggest asset
Right.
that fuels everything of that. So my encouragement to you to be there. So, and as we're talking about this, if you have questions for Ursula, please make sure you put those in the Facebook group. So as far as some of the things we're going to talk about, you talked about really simple process and system. Now, one thing we should announce is you're going to be on stage as a keynote, but you're also doing a breakout session.
Yes.
So what will be the difference between the two?
Yeah. So during the keynote, I'm really going to talk about, my own story and what I've done to grow my business and take my life to the next level, as well as my clients' lives, and how your mindset and your beliefs get in your way from doing that. So we're going to go deep into like, what does that look like? How can you shift your mindset? And what do you really want? Because the truth is, until you actually decide, it cannot show up. I was in San Diego last week. I'm speaking in a lot of different places, and that same message of you have to make a decision to be all in before the next step can show up keeps coming up. So I'm going to talk like, what does that really mean? And how will I know when the next step shows up? So that'll be featured in the keynote, which I'm so excited about. And then I'm gonna step into the breakout, and the breakout is more like workshop style. Like, we're gonna dig in. If you've ever been to one of my events, you know that, I want to get into your business as fast as I can and figure out, what are the numbers? What is stopping you? What would a double look like in your business? And then the how part. And Chaz, thank you for saying that. I get a lot of people say that to me, that I really simplify the sales process, because I do. Because although it's not always easy, selling can be simple. And when you have simple steps to follow, and I can show you those simple steps, it makes it so much easier to move your business forward.
So I'm just gonna give you some really good praise and credit on something in this process too. So it's interesting when we have people who, like, what's so cool about this year Connect going into year 5 is how much we had, like, the first year we were out looking for anyone we could get that could speak at Connect. It was like, we have some members that can speak, so we'll do that. And then let's get some names of people that would recognize. And here we are, year 5, and we have a ton of people coming to us, and we had a lot of requests filled out. And so that was kind of a cool place to be at, to be more like, let's go find the best for this topic. But I have to tell you, what's interesting is watching, and I've been on both sides of this, where I speak at events and we negotiate through it. But what I loved about your simple process as we worked with you and your team to put this together was you really came from a place of contribution to the event. And I know that that's part of the sales strategy, right? Is how do you actually serve? Like, it's not, when you sell, I don't have to win at your detriment, right? And you not only practice what you preach, but you did that through the event. I mean, you gave us a ton of value for the opportunity to be together, and looked at it as a long-term opportunity. And so really commend you in that, for being somebody who practices what you preach. And there were other speakers that just got in their own way. Like, we tried so hard to make it work, and just, they get in their own way. I'm sure you see that when you're out, speaking and stuff.
Yeah, too. Well, I do. And I think that's the part of what I teach, is to show up to serve. And if it's a fit, we'll know it's a fit. And let's figure out every way that we can to make it happen. At the end of the day, though, I want to make sure I'm a fit. So if I'm stepping on your stage, like, we got to be in alignment with our value system. We have to be in alignment with what I teach.
So true.
I've been able to get to know each other through the podcast, and me interviewing you and you interviewing me. And then the team around us who kind of knows and said, this needs to happen. Like, shout out to Tina for making this connection.
Yes. Go Tina.
Right. And so it is a great example. I do practice what I preach, but underneath that is that spirit of serving, right? Mm-hmm. And I will talk about that at your event as well, the idea that selling is truly serving. And you haven't served someone, especially if they're your top 20%, you can help them. You haven't served them until you've offered to help them, and you've shown them how you can, which includes them paying for that, right? So yes. That's the full circle of a sales conversation. So thank you. Yes. And we're all going to come together so we can serve at a much higher level.
So why do I need to, as a business owner, why do I need to learn to sell? I mean, I think I take too much for granted. Sometimes that's assumed, but let's just start there for a second and lay a foundation for those who may be new in business who are listening to this, or you've been in business a while and it's time to scale that, to grow it. Why do I need to learn this?
Well, I think one of the biggest myths about selling is that selling is marketing. And it's the reason why, if you look at, universities across the country, they teach marketing and sales. And so sales gets this tiny little piece, but it's mostly marketing. So a lot of people learn a lot about marketing, or they hire marketing companies, but then there's this other piece called the sales conversation. So once those leads come in, who's having that conversation? Do I know how to have a sales conversation to determine whether or not I can help this person? And it's not innate. Like we don't know how to have sales conversation. And most people think that a sales conversation is me talking the whole time as a salesperson, when 95% of selling is actually listening. And so if, for some of you who are listening, if that's a surprise, I can't wait to connect with you. Because like the second you get that, things start to shift in your sales conversations. I always tell our clients, like, if you could just ask 2 powerful, open-ended questions and sit there and give your prospect the gift of listening to them for an hour, at the end, they'll probably say, Chaz, I don't even know what you sell, but I'm going to buy it today. Thank you. Like I just like you, right? It's about creating that connection so that they can say yes, or they can say no. They get to decide.
Yeah. If you're not making the money you desire, that you want to be, if you feel like there's still room for improvement in that part of your business, that top line revenue coming in, this is why you need to be at Connect. This investment alone will give you your return on investments worth the price of admission. To hear from Ursula as she takes you through this process, it just baffles me. I get, as I travel the country, I get all these opportunities to meet with people from all across the country. And so many of them want to tell me about their business. They want to tell me how, I can make more money with their service. And that's great. And I appreciate that. But the number of times that I've sat down and taken the time to do a face-to-face meeting with somebody, and they spend the entire time, like, it's literally sit down. Hey, nice to meet you. All right, let me tell you what I'm up to. Let me tell you what I'm doing. Blah, 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 blah. Go through this whole thing. And 45 minutes later, they're like, so you think we could work together? What do you think? And I'm like, I think I'm hungry. That's what I think. I think I'm tired. What do I think?
I ran out of coffee.
Yeah. You have no idea where I'm at, how it's going to benefit me, and so I love that you just brought that up. That's not selling at all.
No. This is where introverts win. And there's sales training out there today that like takes certain personality types and says you have to be, to a certain type of personality, you have to show up in a certain way to be successful at selling. And so people who are more introverted, right away they think, well, I'm not that, like I could never be that. It's the exact opposite. I think introverts can really win, and extroverts can learn from introverts to kind of pull back a little bit and really work on those listening skills and slow it down, because that just creating that space for that conversation will create an opportunity for you to help them. And here's a sentence for everyone. Like everyone's thinking, well, how does that work? The sentence to open up a conversation is say, Chaz, I would love to help you with your sales if that makes sense. If it does, great. If it doesn't, at the end of our conversation today, I know a lot of people, I'd love to refer you to someone. How does that sound?
Yeah, it's great. So easy.
And then we open up the conversation. I ask you a couple questions. I listen, and pretty soon I know whether or not I can serve you. And if I can, great. If I can't. So I want to give that today as a tangible piece that people can take with them, because when we all start to come from that space, it's just so much easier to understand if I can help you or not.
So good. Guys, it's hard not to give too much of it away here, right? But it's going to be so powerful. We have such a great lineup, and Ursula will be speaking to us day 2 from the main stage. So make sure at Connect that you're there. Purchased my ticket for Connect at 2020, Connect 2020 at Connect 2019. Awesome. So many did. Like we sold out VIP at 2019. And we will again for next year. So listen, if you want the opportunity to be a VIP, you literally have to be there this year to get the chance to be a VIP for next year, which will be super cool because it's going to be our 10-year anniversary next Connect of Master Network. So we've got some special things planned there. All right. Anything you kind of want to wrap with as far as what they can expect, what they should, how should I prepare? Coming to Connect, getting ready to listen to what you're going to share. What should I do to prepare for that?
Think about where you want to be in your business on December 31st, 2020. So, imagine that it's, New Year's Eve and you're celebrating somewhere and you're thinking about the most incredible year you've had. What would be on that list? How much revenue would you bring in? How much profit? How much would you have paid yourself? What would be different in your company? Would your book be done? Would your podcast be out there? Like, make a list of what you want to create by the end of the year and bring that list with you.
Do you think on that, first of all, it's great advice, but you made me think of something when you said that. and you said, think about where I want to be December 31st. Specifically, like my mind went to, okay, what's the income goal I want to be at December 31st? But I think that a lot of people say, okay, well, let's say I'm at 100,000 and I want to be at 200,000. They immediately go to, I don't know how to do that.
Good.
So then they bring it down. Right. No, that's it. Good. That's right. You don't know how to do it. That's what you're going to learn.
That's what I want you to come with is that. So the great point. So when you hit that bigger number, so let's say you've been averaging a lot of people are at like, I've been hitting my 100K. I want to hit 250. I want to hit $250,000. Great. And then your first limiting belief is there's no way I'm going to get there. And that's the exact goal I want you to bring with you, because I don't want you to know how. In fact, if you think you know how to get there, then it's not a good goal for you. It's not high enough.
Oh, so that's so good.
That's that next level. And the other piece of this is when I'm going a little bit like I'm thinking about all the stuff I can include, but we'll talk about there. But when you create this bigger goal, okay, two things will happen. One, you'll freak out, which is great because you're going to go, I can't do it. And then think to yourself, yes, this is the perfect goal. Put that aside. The second thing is to just write it down, okay? And then notice the first step that comes up that's way outside of your comfort zone that would take you there. The first thing you definitely do not want to do is the exact thing you have to do. So just write that down and bring that with you, and I'll help shift that for you.
So my team that's listening in here, when Ursula said, if you already know how to achieve that goal, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
That is so powerful. I've never thought of that before. So if I already know how to get to that goal without, like, at first blush, just putting that goal, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
So
right.
Good.
Right. You want it to be a stretch and believable at some level, but a stretch beyond, so that you don't like, I just don't know how to get there. So then, because what'll happen, so if your brain thinks, if your subconscious and your conscious mind think that like you already know how to get there, okay, you will start to put in the steps. You'll just start to, okay, well, here's how I'll do it. And like, you'll start to make it up right away. And so will your team. When you set the goal you don't know, you're going to have to do things completely different than you've ever done them before, which is exactly where you want to be. Way outside your comfort zone. It's why I wrote the book, The Belief Zone, right? Because you got to move out of your comfort zone into a new belief zone.
Yes. And anytime you don't know how to get to that goal, I can assure you there's someone that does. There's always a who that knows how to get you there. And I'm introducing you to that who, and that's Ursula. She's going to be at Connect April 16th, 17th, and 18th in Dallas, Texas at our event called Connect. So come listen to Ursula, because she's going to be the who that's going to help you get to that goal and reach that goal. And I'm super excited. If you go to attend-connect.com, you can get tickets there, $397 right now. And you can also reserve your room. So if you already have a ticket and you haven't reserved your room, do that before they sell out. We have no ability this year to extend that hotel block like we did last year. We just have the hotel does not have the space for us to do that. You're going to be really wanting to be at the hotel. So you can attend and get to know Ursula, have a chance to meet her in the hall afterwards, and connect with her at the event. So super excited. We're so excited to have you there. It's just going to be
I'm so excited to see you at Connect, to see everybody at Connect. And definitely, for those of you who are still kind of like on the fence, not only should you be there, but think of people that need to come with you, right? You know those people who should also be there. So I just looking forward to it. Thanks for the opportunity.
You are so welcome. As I mentioned at the start of this episode, I took my son a week ago to an event for 5 days. And, when you look at that, the tickets were $1,000 a piece. They were, then flight, hotel, food, all of that stuff. But if I look back at there's not one ounce, 1 minute of regret in that whatsoever. When you invest in somebody, yourself being first, and then you bring somebody to an event like that you learn together, something about learning together. And I haven't quite figured this out. Maybe you've had more experience with that. I haven't figured out what that is that bonds people together when they come, like, I don't know what to call that tangible space when you learn together.
Yeah.
That you bond.
Right, you do. I mean, it's like you're up leveling together. It's almost like being in a vortex. But it's like you get to take the experience with you, because you're gonna see them again. You're gonna talk to them. Then they're gonna remember parts of the event. It's just taking the energy of the event with you. So you and your son will keep talking about it, and you'll bring that energy back. And he'll think about that for the rest of his life. I remember my dad wasn't afraid to go up and talk to these people that I thought were famous, and he did it. So I'm not afraid either. I mean, you just take those experiences with you.
Yeah, so powerful. So guys, invest in a ticket for yourself. And if you're coming already, bring somebody. I was just in Missouri last week, and I think Ashley's on here. She said, I'm driving from Missouri down to Connect. And if more of you want to come, I'll go rent a van, a bus, whatever I need to rent to get everybody there. It was so great. So that's the kind of investment in others that this event is for. Yeah, and I saw our team posted less than 50% of the rooms are available. We're going to sell out those rooms, and I think people are going to be like, oh shoot, I should have got my room. And you don't even have to pay for it right now. Just reserve your room.
Yeah.
And so be there. Looking forward to seeing everybody do we remember the countdown days? We're like less than 70 days, I think, or something like that away from Connects. It's just amazing. So looking forward to it. Ursula, we're so excited you're going to be there. Thank you for being on this episode of Connect, Share, Prosper, and looking forward to seeing you guys at Connect. Be well. Take care. Are you ready to build your network at lightning speed? Well, mark your calendar for April 16th through the 18th and join us at Connect. You'll experience 3 days of growing, networking, and breaking through your limitations. Look, you'll never be the same. So go to attend-connect.com to learn more.